Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for your time. You're watching 284 Media. The BVI Film Commission and Tourist Board recently held the 284 Film Competition Film Excellence Awards, of course, featuring Virgin Islanders both in the British Virgin Islands and U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, this film competition also saw a number of guest judges and special features. We're today honored to be joined by the film commissioner herself, Miss Natalie Hodge, and the overall winner out of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Mr. Emmanuel Phillips. Of course, we're discussing all things film and the beauty that is the art of storytelling. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production.
The push was to understand whatever we need in the second district or whatever we need even in the Virgin Islands, we have the capacity, we have the resources, we have the knowledge.
We have to improve our primary health care. What we have seen over the years, anybody could tell you this, we have seen a decline in the level of primary health care. That is the clinics.
I think party politics, political agendas, after April the 24th should have been put aside.
How do you move government resources? How do you better understand the system? How do you get your piece in there first and so on to make sure that you get the most?
Folks will hear things about what we have in mind to get done for the district very soon.
The government who is responsible for all of these policies and programs, they're the ones who really have the handle for all of these things.
We saw the challenges in terms of how those funds were being misused and mismanaged, and we need to ensure that we have a transparent system in place to ensure that persons who need help are able to get help.
We are not going to be able to attract the kind of investment that I just talked about, that you and I just talked about, in terms of new money and new business, unless we clean this country up.
This fall, we're bringing you closer to the heart of democracy. Introducing Just for the Record, First 100 Days. We asked elected members of the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands to account for their actions, successes, and shortfalls at this significant milestone since their swearing in. Find out starting Thursday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. Just for the Record, First 100 Days exclusively on 284 Media.
Catch all the action from the 2023 NFL games with CCT Live on various channels, including ESPN Channel 412, ESPN2 Channel 413, Telemundo Channel 315, and Fox Channel 304. When you subscribe to any CCT Fire plan, you'll automatically bundle CCT Live. For more information, visit your nearest CCT store or give us a call at 444-4444. Choose CCT Live and enhance your game day experience.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, I am today joined by the film commissioner at the BVI Film Commission and Tourist Board, the lovely Natalie Hodge, along with the overall winner, Mr. Emmanuel Phillip of the 284 Film Competition. To you both, I want to thank you for your time and welcome back to our platform.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Wonderful. So, Ms. Hodge, another one for the books. By far a phenomenal evening celebrating the talent that is Virgin Islanders, really portraying their work through film. When you look back at the evening, of course, it was well supported by Virgin Islanders and film enthusiasts, storytellers all across the Virgin Islands. Recap this magnificent evening for us.
Yes, it was well attended, and we want to thank the supporters for coming out to support not only the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission, but to support the filmmakers with their entries into the competition. Of course, we started off at a cocktail hour in the lobby of UP Cineplex, and then we moved into Cinema One for the screenings. There were a number of categories for that evening, such as the Rodney Skelton Production Award for Best Film, the Neil Blyden Memorial Award for Cinematography, Best Short Documentary, Best Soundtrack, Best Editing, Best Directing, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay. And we also had Fan Favorite, which was judged by the audience in attendance. And we also had a special presentation from Miss Debbie Wilmot, who wanted to present her best pick of the evening. And that person received a prize from her as well.
Phenomenal. And additionally, I want to highlight that we did have a very special guest in the audience, Emmy nominating producer out of the U.S., Mr. C.J. Faison. Of course, in addition to that evening, the Film Commission put on a number of particular workshops for filmmakers. I want to recap that a little bit and tell me what were some of the takeaways.
So we had a workshop the day after the screening, which was the 19th. The workshop was held on the 20th at the H. Lavie Stout Community College, and we collaborated with the community college to facilitate the workshop for anyone who's interested. It was free of charge, and it was a videography workshop that was presented by Mr. Tabari Sturdivant, who's an industry professional in Atlanta. He's produced a number of films that have gone on to win a few film festivals and are on streaming on Amazon Prime and other networks. So he facilitated that workshop. And then we had Mr. C.J. Faison also make an appearance at the workshop, and he was able to inspire the attendees and just speak to them and have that engagement, that one-on-one engagement with the filmmakers in attendance.
Wonderful. And the award-winning filmmaker himself, Emmanuel Phillips, out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Emmanuel, congratulations on your win, and thank you for your time once again. I want to take this opportunity to get your feedback on the overall experience. Of course, you went home with a number of awards, including Best Actor and Actress, Best Film, Best Soundtrack, Best Directing, and the Fan Favorite for Three Little Wishes. Tell us about your experience in the film festival, your preparation. What was it like?
This is actually the second festival that I've been a part of, and by far this has been one of the most emotional experiences that I think I've ever had. The camaraderie between myself and the other filmmakers, and the ability to see your film in an actual movie theater, on an actual movie theater screen, and to have people express their enjoyment. It was an extremely special experience for me. It is something that I hope every filmmaker at some point gets to actually experience.
Amazing. And I wanted to stay there for a little bit. Your storytelling. Tell us about your choice in storytelling. And the reason I ask you that is because, of course, I was there and I had the opportunity to look at all the films. And Natalie, you would agree that there were some similar themes. Many persons, both in the documentary aspect, also you were fantasy. Your film was a fantasy. That was your genre. But persons in the documentary aspect also highlighted fishing. What I found very unique, Emmanuel, about your storytelling, while it was not specifically noted, the culture of fishing and unfortunately us sometimes losing persons at sea was a part of it. So tell us about your desire to really speak on that aspect that was quite relevant to our culture, I might add.
Yes, that's actually something that I thought would be nice to include, because we're in the British Virgin Islands, in the Virgin Islands, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and what we have is a situation where people do leave and they do go out to sea and they don't return. I thought it was relevant because I've spent time both here in St. Thomas and also in the BVI, and I have actually closed a personal situation. Whereas in my dad's brother actually left and he went out to sea and he never came back. So being that a lot of the other filmmakers actually did do a documentary and it is about fishing, you have like a reference point to why it's so important. And it was nice to be able to include it in a way that was still wholesome.
Indeed. I want to talk about your process in making the film. Tell us about your casting, of course, and of course you were able to win Best Actor and Actress, but tell us about how long it took you. What was that process like?
So from start to finish, the shoot time for the film was 2 days. My main actor, Ashantadu Phillips, who won Best Actor, he is a basketball athlete and he could only spare 2 days or else he would not be able to play his first games. So we took those 2 days and we just crunched it out. That's actually him right there walking in the background. We took those 2 days and we just crunched it out, and then we took that extra day for editing. And I was so happy that we had a little bit more time to edit because that gave me a little bit more time to fine tune some things. And casting wise, I knew that it was preferred for the films to be shot in the British Virgin Islands. And thankfully, my sister actually lives in the BVI on the West End. So I knew I had to build a story around her and her children, her family. And that's kind of what started the process of me making the decision to shoot the film that I did. So I started to think about ideas that would be different. And thinking about kids, we go to, certain genres. And I decided to go with fantasy because not only did I want to challenge myself to see if that's something that I could accomplish effectively, but it's also something that I really have an affinity for as it relates to, things magical and adventurous, and also nowadays not really having a lot of films that are available where I see younger actors and actresses that are portraying these kind of characters that are from the places that we're from.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I have to ask you, Film Commissioner, when you reflect on the evening and the work that was presented, of course, like Emmanuel's work, what are you most proud of, Natalie, when you see the culmination of what was presented on that evening?
I think I was most proud of a few things. You can see the significant improvement of the work that was submitted by entries who have entered in the competition last year. One. Two, again, as Emmanuel mentioned, the camaraderie between the filmmakers, and of course, the increase in female filmmakers and the presentation of documentaries, because I opened up this year to documentaries, and I just wanted to mention, I take this opportunity to mention that the competition was open to persons in and around the Virgin Islands, US and BVI, and our filmmakers enter in the film festival in St. Thomas with the potential and with the aspiration of winning and capturing the title. And I think Mr. Hakeem Gravesande won Best Editing last year or the year prior. I think it was the year prior. And I feel like if they have opportunities to expand and explore in other territories to show their work and perhaps win that title, then we should extend that courtesy to other filmmakers as well to enter our film festival. And the film festival was geared towards Virgin Islands filmmakers, not just BVI Islanders. And we also had interest from persons from St. Croix and as far as Atlanta in the US mainland. Next year, we hope to develop it as a film festival, and that means it's open globally to anyone in the world to submit films of any genre for viewing and, of course, for the screening and, of course, for the awards. And we look forward to that. We want to welcome everyone to enter, and it's not just specifically for BVI Landers. What we do for the BVI Landers is that coming out of the competition, we will host these workshops, or prior to the competition, we'll host the various workshops to help them develop and improve their skill set. But the film festival, we want to grow it as a festival that will rival other film festivals, Cannes and any other film festival in the world, Puerto Rico Film Festival. All filmmakers are welcome to enter, as well as BVI Landers. And so anyone will be welcome to enter our film festival.
Phenomenal and well said. Thank you so much for that. Emmanuel, what would your encouragement be to fellow filmmakers creatives in the Virgin Islands about being confident enough and vulnerable to share their stories with the world?
I'm actually glad that you used the second word, because confidence is secondary when it comes to filmmakers. I can speak for myself. Creative people in general, I think the confidence aspect is a little bit down the ladder. I think that the vulnerability of creating something and putting your time and effort into it and then giving it to an audience to critique and judge it's not easy, but I think that it's something that we should do. And I believe that being in the Virgin Islands, having opportunities to create these kind of films, I think it is very, very important that we utilize the opportunities that we have here to try, to practice, to get better. And so that, like Natalie said, when this film festival is rivaling things like Cannes and all these other film festivals that are in the States and global, we would have already had practice creating what we need to create in the time frame and with the requirements that we need to. And I wanted to also point out that one of the big reasons that I participated in this competition was specifically because of Miss Natalie Hodge. From the first year that I participated in Paradise 48 here in St. Thomas, Miss Natalie Hodge was there, and she was very supportive, and she was very instrumental in understanding that the film industry is something that needs to be reawakened. And I love the work that she's doing, and being that she was so supportive of the things that were going on here in St. Thomas, I thought it only makes sense for us to cross the border and be able to participate and support as well. And to filmmakers that are creating, to people that are doing content creation, YouTube, anything that you're doing, it is literally just about doing it. You have to start at some point, and the point of starting is right now. The longer that we wait, I believe, the farther away the things in our head never get to be presented. And I think that we have to just stop thinking so much, and we just have to start doing.
Well said, and thank you for your words of advice. I want to take this opportunity once again to congratulate you, Emmanuel, on your win, and also, Natalie, congratulate you on the hosting, the BVI Film Commission's hosting of this phenomenal event. I'm proud to say that we are reintroducing film to the Virgin Islands in various creative ways, and most importantly, like I think you are aiming, Natalie, of being a support to the filmmakers in the creative industry. So kudos to you both. Emmanuel, for your participation and your win, and of course Natalie for doing such a phenomenal job along with your hardworking team and making this a reality, and most importantly moving the film industry in the Virgin Islands from good to great. For the persons that did not get an opportunity to see the film, we're now going to feature Emmanuel's teaser, Three Little Wishes. So thank you guys so much. And up next, after the teaser, we'll be joined by Mr. Cam Roy Peters and Ms. Nadia Turnbull, two of the other winners in the film competition. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yeah.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production.
Catch all the action from the 2023 NFL games with CCT Live on various channels, including ESPN Channel 412, ESPN2 Channel 413, Telemundo Channel 315, and Fox Channel 304. When you subscribe to any CCT Fire plan, you'll automatically bundle CCT Live. For more information, visit your nearest CCT store or give us a call at 444-4444. Choose CCT Live and enhance your game day experience.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for your time. I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. As promised, I am joined by the more winners of the 284 film competition, which was recently held by the BVI Film Commission and Tourist Board. They are Mr. Cameron Peters, who was the first runner-up, and the lovely Nadia Turnbull, who was the second runner-up. To both of you, thank you so much for your time, and welcome to our platform.
Thank you for having us, Ron.
Absolutely. Now, as mentioned, you both received a number of awards. Cameron, you received the Best Editor, Best Screenplay, and Best Short Documentary, and then Nadia, you received 2 awards, Best Cinematography and also a special award. I want to begin with you, Nadia. Tell us about your film, your choice in genre, and what was your overall experience in this year's competition? You would have been a return. This is not your first time being in the film competition. What was your overall takeaway, Nadia?
So my film was titled Surreal. It was a sci-fi thriller. The theme of the film, I would say, is about dream manipulation, dream experience, I would say. The experience actually creating my film was one that was extremely quick. I spent probably a weekend shooting everything with my actors, and then it was a lot of sleepless nights just trying to get those things edited and submitted in time. In terms of the concept, I had the concept for quite some time. I was thinking about this plot line of having someone who can be able to be immersive into their dreams and how that can affect their day-to-day life. And I felt like I executed it well. It was a good experience so far. I mean, throughout the whole experience, even up until having it premiere, it was very well received, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Wonderful. I must commend you on the storyline and keeping the plot from beginning to end. What I liked about your film, Nadia, was that it was relatable. I think each individual in attendance could relate to having a dream and wanting to pursue it, but not necessarily knowing how to go about it. So thank you for your storyline. And then Cameron, your documentary, of course, which highlighted a very major part of our culture in the Virgin Islands, which would be fishing. Tell us about your film, the choice in genre, and what was your process like in shooting, editing? How long did it take you?
The choice to do a documentary, honestly, I felt part of it was due to being currently in that space, as I've been recently creating a number of different documentary projects alongside Miss Annika Christopher, as well as Miss BVI, for those of you who don't know. But also alongside working with some non-profit organizations, creating some different campaigns. And it really put me in a space of being around a lot of environmentalists, a lot of conservationists, and a lot of people who are really close to the roots of our culture. So then alongside that, while being exposed to the different lifestyles and stories and the challenges that they've had, I just felt that it's something that should be told and something that should be explored. So with that, I then, started to figure out who are the best people to tell these stories and who can champion this forward. And as many people saw, that was Mr. Elmore Stout, Sam Davies, as well as some of the more younger and influential people in the space, Jordan Romney and Albert Stout as well. Not Albert Stout, sorry, Andrew Stout, Albert Stout's son. The Stouts are known to be part of the fishing culture for a number of generations. And I felt it was quite fitting. In terms of how long it took, a lot of it was more so regarding the planning, trying to figure out dates that work for everybody. So this was over maybe a good 2 to 2.5 weeks. Because even while doing certain shoots, I still had to change dates and go out again. Maybe spent 2 days out on water, but in terms of doing the interviews, they happened over a total of maybe 2.5, 3 days. Everything kind of just worked out. In total, when it came to editing, I think that was maybe 2.5 days collectively. And, I had to make sure that everything with the pacing, which I'm guessing why I ended up winning Best Editing, but with the pacing, the sound, and putting everything together really came to create what was shown on the screen. Yeah.
Wonderful. I want to take this opportunity to ask you both to give a little bit of advice, some nuggets, particularly to young upcoming filmmakers like yourself, persons within the entire creative space. And I asked Emmanuel this question as well. The ability for creatives and filmmakers just in general to have the confidence and vulnerability to share their stories with the world like you both did. It could be a tricky space. It's a personal space, but it could also be a bit daunting. I want to speak to that, the ability for creatives to have the confidence to share their work. What would you say about that? And for persons watching, what would you say for those who might be a little bit apprehensive and nervous about stepping into that space? Nadia?
What I would say is that it's important to just start and then find your audience. Everyone has people that can relate to their work and to their art. What might be art to one person would not be art to another. And it's really important to find your tribe and find your audience and find the people that connect with your work and just start. So once you start, you're going to find that maybe not everyone gravitates to your art at first, but over time, after you perfect your craft, as you work on it and as you build and as you grow, people will grow with you and you would start to attract more people. And once you're doing it for yourself and once you're doing it for the love of the craft and the art that you want to portray, it always works out. You're gonna find the people, it's not for the people all the time, but I know that as creatives, we want people to kind of appreciate what we work on. And I would say that it's all about you loving it first and everyone else will follow.
Cameron?
And just to kind of add to what Nadia says, everything she said is absolutely right. But more so on the practical side, you really do have to put a little bit of planning into it. I say a little bit, but it's definitely a lot of planning. You have to kind of start making it real, writing it out, finding out who are the best people to maybe help you materialize this. Or whether it be finding out what are the best tools accessible to you that you're able to achieve this with, and what's the minimum, and as well as seeing what would you like to get involved, and then try and attempt to get the best you can. And if you fall short, you could always still work with the minimum, because really and truly it's the story that matters, and really not the particular tools you tell it with. Because the story will always succeed that. And obviously make sure you have a good audio, because everybody needs to at least hear a story.
Indeed. One of the things that I want to highlight, of course, for the general audience, for persons who were not able to be at the film festival, all of the films will be shared tomorrow. They'll be available on the YouTube page, the BVI Film Commission's YouTube page. So if you go directly to the Facebook page, BVI Film Commission Facebook page, it has the link and it will automatically send you to the YouTube page. But additionally, for the persons that did not get to see, I'm going to toss Nadia and Cameron to both of your films, and I'd like to give you both the opportunity to introduce your films to the general public. Nadia, begin with you.
Mm-hmm. Hi everyone, hi all the viewers watching. My film Surreal is a sci-fi thriller. It's delving into the life of an ordinary girl who is dreaming of a better life and how she navigates that when given the opportunity to, I guess, make it as real as possible. So here is the reel, and I hope you enjoy.
This ain't how I dream my life to be, you know. Working on 9 to 5, pushing paper. This ain't it for real.
Keyword dream. Come out the clouds, sis.
Dreaming of a better life is what gave me through the week.
We're going to stand up for surreal at this point.
Hi, everybody. So, my name is Cam Roy, and my film, Crack of Dawn, takes a dive into the world of fishing and fishing culture in the BVI, and it highlights the tales, the stories, the challenges of the BVI culture with regards to fishing, and it really shows, the beauty and the splendor, as well as what it really takes to achieve the results that they achieved as part of our culture.
But I want to take this opportunity to commend you and wish you the very best as you continue to chart the way forward for filmmakers in the Virgin Islands. And of course, thank you so much for sharing your work with us.